Welcome back to Up All Night Rumination. When we left off, we were to start session 5, where we had some interesting revelations. And that, mainly in that, Nick might be after something more than just therapy. In this case, Nick might be after something specific. What's wrong? You seem off. He was lying across the couch, drained today, where he was so full of energy the meeting before. I guess I could relate to that. You haven't been exactly been truthful with me, Mr. Torres. About what? Aspen Lodge. How did you find out about that? I looked it up. That wasn't the truth, but it gave me a small feeling of control again. I've been increasingly spinning apart every time I thought about that talk with that detective. I don't see why that has anything to do with you. You're still lying to me. Sit up properly. We need to have a discussion. No, I'll stay like this, thanks. Sitting up isn't gonna change shit. It's getting defensive. I need to pull back some, but it was so hard. It found me through my link to Grayson. If he hadn't already, he was bound to make contact with Katie soon. Tried to laugh then, but it came out tinny and hollow. The only thing you didn't do wrong was dating my daughter. Yeah. He was silent at that, his face going pale. No. She said she was seeing someone named Eric, not... He smiled then, with a look of pure admiration. It chilled me to the core. Huh. She lied for me? She didn't have to do that. Get out. We hadn't talked. Look, I can explain it all. You saw what happened to Grayson, right? When she was bitten. That was no ordinary bite. Ooh. I slammed my fist down on the table. So you did know I knew her. You fucking liar. And now you're trying to smear that poor girl by calling her a werewolf. Nick groaned. He looked like he wanted to sit up and argue, but it was just too drained to bother. No. I would never smear Grayson's name. She was one of the nicest people I've ever met. She didn't deserve any of it. Why? Why are you here? What's wrong with you, coming here and opening up old wounds? Katie's been haunted that she wasn't there when... I know. I saw right at the confidence I heard in his voice. He knew. He knew what my daughter was feeling. I said, get out. Oh, you just listen. I was up there, for vacation. The owner, Felix, was a vampire. I thought I'd an inhuman shriek at the very mention of a vampire. Do you think I care about that? I want to know why you thought it would be... I wanted to know why you thought it would be alright to date my daughter. He blinked, slow and deliberate, then stared up at the ceiling. Oh. I just went over there to ask her about Grayson. Like, find out what she was like with other people and stuff. But she knew. She knew it was a werewolf bite, that... No, none of that. Get out. Don't you dare speak to my daughter ever again. She's an adult. She can talk to... Out. Now. Okay, I get it. You don't want to listen to what I have to say. But ask her. Ask Katie. She'll tell you everything. Please, just take care. I don't want anything to happen to you. That sounded more like a threat to me than anything else, but he left with his hands held up in front of himself, visible and harmless, eyes pleading and tired. The moment the door slammed shut, I called Katie. Hey, Mom, what's up? Don't act so damn casual, young lady. Her voice was shrill, and I was dimly aware that if I talked to her that way, there was not a chance in hell this was going to go my way. But I was panicked. I couldn't breathe. She had known. A sigh on the other end of the line. You found out about us. You knew he was treating with me, and you... I sputtered the words out. He knows what happened to Grayson, Mom. What really happened. Believe me about the werewolf attack. That camping. I told you then, and I'm telling you now, Katie. Werewolves do not exist. It was a bear that attacked Grayson that night. I let you live that fantasy out for a while because of how much guilt you felt. But you need to accept that she moved away because her parents couldn't handle that you'd pulled her out off of that idiotic secret camping trip. Fuck, you're always like this. I love you, Mom, but you're being fucking stubborn. He knows. He was there. He saw it. So a werewolf killed Grayson this time, that's what you're saying? No, of course not. I'm saying Grayson was the werewolf. She killed her parents. There's a vampire there, too. From what I understand, not a very powerful one. He thinks there's one in the city, too. Near your work. He said he told you to keep an eye out. I let a laugh that edged on hysteria. Oh, perfect. We'll just add more vampires into the mix. Why not? Look, Katie, Mr. Torres is unstable. Don't let yourself get too involved with him. It won't lead you anywhere good. Don't end up like I did with Richard. This has nothing to do with Dad. He's an asshole, but at least he talks to me like I'm an adult. You told me you don't talk to him. Uh-oh. Yeah, well, I don't like seeing you upset. I know how much that whole thing hurt you. But he's my dad, so yeah, I still talk to him sometimes. There were tears pricking at the corners of my eyes. That was a fresh wound she just made. It wasn't the reason for my call. Richard wasn't the immediate threat. Katie, if Grayson killed her parents, then who killed her? Please tell me it was the owner, the one who's missing. Silence on the other end for a long time. Oh, this is not going to end well if you tell her the truth, Katie. I know you don't believe in these creatures, but I've seen it myself. I know. It was by luck and Grayson's love that I didn't die as a teenager. I have to help her make this right. I'll talk to you after. I'm sorry. The phone went dead. Shaking uncontrollably, I called again but got her voicemail. Katie, please don't do this. He isn't well. Please. He didn't call me back that night. Or the night after. Uh-oh. 3 weeks had passed since that day. Katie never answered the phone when I called. And Nick never responded to me either. It was as if they had both vanished off the face of the earth. Don't worry, Miss Rathburn. I'll let you know if I hear anything. But if she left with him willingly, there's not a lot we can do. She's an adult. Oh, I know, but he's dangerous. I just know he's dangerous. Please. Please find her and tell her to come home. But I never got any news. Nicholas Torres had vanished from the face of the earth. And so had my Katie. Bad end. Is this what we get for having that whole Aspen Lodge thing thrust upon us by the detective? In that sense, I can't blame Patricia for going completely apeshit. Let's see. What were the choices we passed up on last time? Let's go back for a moment, ask him about the past. Nick, I want you to be honest with me. What else have you seen? It's not just the car accident, is it? Still flung over the couch, he seemed to collapse in on himself. No, there was something else. Something was bad. What was it, Nick? Voice so low I could barely hear him, he began to talk. Have you heard of Aspen Lodge? The murders there? I was there when it happened. Pushed myself out of the chair, standing rigid, staring down at him in shock. What? You were there? mean the Nash family murders? I saw the bodies. Snowed up there along with a few other guests. I was the least lucky, though. Just had to go for a fucking walk, didn't I? I felt as if the air had been kicked out of my lungs. He had met Grayson. Maybe he had just seen her body. I couldn't have known my closest to the case, though. They had known the little girl who had been growing into a young woman when her life had been cut short. And now it's Nick's decision. I think it's pretty related. He told me he was at Aspen Lodge. From what I could tell, he was unaware I had any association with the Nash family. As such, there was no direct conflict. He chuckled, a voice raspy and cold. Okay, this is not going to change. Going to talk about Aspen Lodge? I told you I was there. What the hell didn't I say? You didn't say that's how you found me. So I didn't find you that way. How the hell does that have anything to do with you? Oh. Need to have a discussion? Oh, and that didn't quite change anything. Let's back up one more, shall we? Too close to me in one way. He's worried he's getting too close to me. Let's press him. What were you thinking? What makes you think you're too close to me? I think we really connect. I feel that way because you revealed pieces of yourselves that you've kept hidden. This is a safe space, so I hope you feel like we've connected. Yeah, I do. Looked me straight in the eyes and my heartbeat jumped into my throat. So desperate, so very desperate. His whole body screamed of desperation. Patty, do you feel connected to me too? Okay, Nick, you're coming on a little strong there. I feel connected in a way a therapist connects with her patient, Nick. I didn't nearly choke the words out. My throat was dry, and my whole body felt a wave of nervous heat coursing through it. It got to be in my head, but he just called me Patty. You feel so far away over there. There's nothing physical about this relationship, Richard. I snapped at him and he physically jerked back, eyes wide. Yes, he had been thinking along those lines. I had called him by my ex-husband's name. Well, I have to go. I'm sorry. I got up and nearly sprinted from the room. He was pale and trembling almost as much as I was. Well, that went places. The door slammed shut. I stared at the empty couch, then buried my head in my hands. Fuck! Ooh, bad end. Well, that was weird. Let's start from the top. Nothing wrong. Instead of letting it go, let's press him. Oh wait, let's not press him. Let's let it go. Okay, this is optional. Interesting. Might affect something down the line. Shake. Okay, don't shake. I hesitated for another moment, caught up in the strange overlap of memory and present. He slipped his hand back in his pocket and shrugged so subtly I hardly saw it. Darn it, I can't believe I let him stand there with his hand out. He does not need to answer for your own baggage, Patricia. Get it together. Anyway, see you next time. In a month. Yes, next month. Let me know if you want it sooner than that. I choked the reply out, still caught up in my memory of clenched fists and echoed words that belonged to neither of us. Why are you such a useless... You okay, Miss Rathburn? Yes, I'm just fine. Thank you. See you next session. Bad memories of a bad husband. You know, things with Richard did not go well whatsoever. when just something like a handshake can trigger awful memories like that. Moving along. In this case, he's smoking. I felt it was okay to sit back and let him continue. You want some water? Is it crazy that I feel I don't deserve it? Nobody deserves to have something like that happen to them. I filled up a small paper cup from the cooler next to my desk and handed it to him. No, I mean the water. I don't... Making yourself uncomfortable isn't a way to tackle a painful experience. Nobody deserves to go through that kind of needless punishment. He swallowed the water in one gulp, then stared thoughtfully down at the little paper cup before emptying his cigarette ash into it. He kept moaning. For hours. I was there. Alive, but too messed up to move anywhere, and he just died in front of me. For hours. So far gone he couldn't even give me any last words. Just that horrible sound. Interestingly, that was new dialogue. Okay, we asked about the mistake. 4. Wonder if this is a sense where it isn't actually Nick acting kind of creepy, and it's just literally that first instance of Patricia seeing her ex-husband's abuse in Nick. That yeah, Patricia seeing this in Nick and not actually Nick acting this way. Which is why that ending, when we were talking about, when he was talking about the closeness and all that, Patricia snapped. Called him out as Richard. And Nick just kind of like completely changed tone and left. It's hard to say. It'd be a weird turn of character for Nick to actually be acting like that. Which is why I feel like it might be just projecting thoughts of Richard onto Nick. Her own inner demons, so to speak. Part of the tagline of the game. So let's talk about the accident. Let's keep it focused on Nick's stuff, and not things that might provoke memories of Richard. Let's talk more about why you feel this way. What makes you so sure you're undeserving? What happened is horrible, but it did happen. There's no way around that. Imagining a world where it didn't. It could be a way of hurting yourself. He closed his arms around himself as if it were all that was holding him together. If I don't do that, then there's nothing there. I'm afraid I won't feel anything at all if I don't. Would you like to consider a referral to our psychiatrist? For medication? His voice grew sharp. No, I don't want anything. Let his refusal hang in the air for a moment, but didn't press him further on the topic. Alright, just know it's on the table. If you change your mind. Outside of relationships. A hobby. It's going alright. This talks about Aspen Lodge. Ooh, hey! Now this progresses the same way we had where they never came back. But this takes us to a session 6. A week passed without a word from Katie. I called every day only to get her voicemail. was terrified that voicemail message was the last thing I'd ever heard from her. Nick's number didn't even get me that far. His number is no longer in service. Dr. Fletcher was calling again. After a miserable week of no return calls from Katie, I answered. It almost felt like we were on the same team now. Any luck, Miss Rathburn? I was about to ask you the same thing. Look, I know you're not supposed to provide them to me, because of confidentiality and all that, but if you could give me a look back at all your notes on Mr. Torres, it may assist me in finding him. I only hesitated for a moment. A sick, twisting knot of worry and rage had been eating away at my professional shell all week. He ran off with my daughter. I'm not the one who violated our contract. You'll get your files. Just find him. And Katie. Alright, I'll be waiting for your call. I left my laptop at the office like I usually did. Oh, that was the completely wrong voice. That was Fletcher asking for files. Alright, I'll be waiting for your call. I usually did. Part of me considered getting it in the morning, but I couldn't help but think about the time I'd lost waiting already. Like that Fletcher had given me something to do. Nothing better than leaving increasingly desperate voicemails. I dialed my boss, intending to leave a message to let them know I'd gone into the building after hours. Patty, why the late call? It feels like we haven't talked all week. I've been busy. I heard something about your daughter running off with a client of yours, the unstable one. I sighed directly into the phone. Rumor has it that it directly involves you and a werewolf. The boy really is obsessed, isn't he? Dr. Lavalette laughed, repeating the salacious gossip that had been spreading around the office. I don't need to be teased right now, thanks. I was just letting you know I'd be in the building tonight to grab something. See you Monday. I hung up. I could get told off for that later. I wasn't in any mood to deal with discussions of the supernatural. Hey! Lights in the office were off, darkness making the room feel both larger and more suffocating than it normally was. The sound of a raspy, shuddering breath made me whip around. A dark shape sat on the couch. I fumbled for the light switch, but was so unnerved that I couldn't find it. Patricia, why the hell are you here? You're not supposed to be here. That voice. I knew that voice. Nick, what are you doing in my office? A low, raspy laugh. I fucked up. Katie and I. Couldn't breathe. She had been with him, but she wasn't here, so I couldn't see anyone else in the dark. There was a strange tang to the air in the room, raw and metallic. Nick, where's Katie? She'll be okay. At least I'm pretty sure. She didn't get bitten if that's what you're worried about. You're still going on about this werewolf fantasy. My hand groped helplessly at the wall. There I flipped the switch. There, I flipped the switch. I nearly gagged at what I saw. Smears of crimson, darker than the pillow, stained the couch. In the middle sat Nick, coated in blood. His hands were so covered I wasn't sure if it was his own or someone else's. Maybe both. Well, sorry about the rest, Miss Rathburn. I think I fucked up your couch. I stumbled back, my hand shaking. I wanted to run right then, but I had to know. Nick, where's Katie? We found her, you know. Werewolf that bit Grayson. She's dead now. He laughed, low and strained. Were those sobs? Tears started to streak down his face. Ah, fuck, I'm crying. I told her I wouldn't. She let me finish her off, you know. Wanted me to do it. Told me before she transformed. It was just like... Oh, shit. Oh, shit. He stared directly at me. If it weren't for the words coming out of his mouth and the blood smeared everywhere, he would have looked perfectly comfortable there. Upset, but perfectly sane and stable. You aren't talking about Katie, are you? What? No, I told you, she'll be fine. Where is she? Can't say. We fucked up. Someone else knew where we were going. Beat them to the werewolf, but then... This fucking guy comes out of nowhere. Says he was there to collect me. Like some trophy. For his master. He shivered, looking ghostly at the lamplight, then his eyes flashed with anger. You notice someone like Patricia? I can understand why what Nick is saying sounds completely fucking batshit. Fucking mental. I can see why she'd be freaking the fuck out. at the prospect of this. I will not be someone's fucking pet. Nick, what happened to Katie? Grabbed her. Wanted to use her as collateral, but I fucking killed him before it came to that. Except she got... Oh, she's not gonna like that. You're not gonna like that at all. Except she got hurt. I had to stab her through to get to the damn vampire spawn. Nowhere lethal, but she's in the hospital recovering. Where? Voice didn't sound like my own anymore. It was too high and panicky. I can't tell you. Fuck, too many people know already. It's not safe anywhere tonight. You need to go home, now. Or even better, go get a room somewhere and don't tell anyone where you are. Why would I do that? Told you, Patricia, I fuck everything up. Didn't I warn you? If you don't leave now, I'll fuck you up too. I said it so coldly that my knees turned to rubber. I turned and ran, sprinting down the flight of stairs and down to the underground parking garage where I left my car, feeling the entire time that I was teetering on the edge of collapse. Everything was a blur. Katie was hurt and Nick wouldn't tell me where she was. He had hurt her. Told me he had hurt her. I tried to call Detective Fletcher. He could help locate Katie. Voicemail. Shit! Heart in my throat, I called the emergency line. Emergency services? The operator's voice crackled in the poor underground reception. Please come right away to... My hero caught on an uneven piece of asphalt. I went sprawling across the ground. Oh shit. My phone went clattering away. I had indiscernible chatter from the operator, then a small beep. Knew my call had disconnected. Took a deep breath. Nobody was here with me. It was fine. It's time to get to my car and get home. Footsteps. There was someone else coming into the garage. I stood up and hissed in pain. Wearing a skirt, my raw knees had scraped along the ground where I fell. My palms stung from the impact. I limped along, dimly aware that I may have also twisted my ankle. Something to worry about later. Felt a cold hand clamp itself down on my shoulder. My head felt frozen in place, as if that grip was tightening around my neck instead. A voice rang out behind me. I couldn't turn around to see who spoke. You seem lost. Let me help you. Was it Nick? Did he follow me down here? That's okay. I just need to get home. Oh, didn't you know? Know what? You don't have to worry about that anymore. In fact, you never have to worry about anything ever again. Well, that's concerning. That's extremely concerning. Oh, that Nick's got a bloody picture now. Okay. Lights on. Killing a werewolf. Jesus. What kind of situation would that have to be to, I suppose that's it. It said 3 endings. We did get 3 endings. I'd say one bad ending where we, our choices kinda get us too close to memories of Richard, and we snap at Nick, and Nick kinda freaks out and leaves. Because Nick's honest belief is that he fucks up everything. So when his psychiatrist snaps at him, it's only natural that Nick himself would panic and fuck off and not come back, right? I wonder if Fletcher is the vampire, is a vampire as well. The guy tracking Nick. in all this. I still say Dr. Lavalette is a vampire as well. So, poor Patricia was surrounded by vampires, so to speak. Very uncomfortably so. This was advertised as a sort of interlude between Up All Night and a potential sequel, which is in the works. And the end being what it was, very clearly set the tone for something more to come. More vampires in the city. More vampires in the city. Werewolf that turned Grayson. Potentially killed more people. Vampire collector hunting Nick. Another vampire who has taken interest in the case. And now with Patricia running away, is very clearly taking her for some reason. Intriguing. Recount our endings. On one hand, if we go full Richard, we scare away Nick and he doesn't come back. If we don't find out about Aspen Lodge from Nick, we get the Session 5 ending, where we confront Nick, Nick leaves with Katie, and they don't come back. Which means possibly they accomplished their goal and left for good without encountering Fletcher? I'm also thinking of Red-Handed Robin's Fletcher. So hopefully this Detective Fletcher is an equally dapper vampire. Equally sexy vampire. Be expecting great things on that front. So, yeah, that's our endings. We have the Richard ending, where we end the sessions early by snapping at Nick. We have the full bad ending, which might not be that bad. You could read it as a good thing, where they accomplished their initial goal, Nick and Katie, and went into hiding. Or you could read it badly, in that they accomplished the original goal and then got captured and be killed by vampires. And were never seen again. It makes sense why the end is a step up in progression from the full bad ending. The step up in progression being that Nick and Katie got away from the vampire, possibly Detective Fletcher, and Katie got hurt, took Katie to the hospital, came to possibly warn come think of it, it isn't really clear what Nick was doing in Patricia's office to begin with, right? The fact that Patricia was there gave Nick a reason to warn her to go and hide, but what was he doing there to begin with? Uncertain of that, but that is in fact where we stand. on a bit of a cliffhanger. The vampire in Patricia's office, perhaps being the new threat. Curious where this could go. But whatever the case, it's guaranteed that we are going to be up all night. On that note, until this comes around, we'll leave our rumination. Or perhaps we'll continue ruminating on what we've seen until we pick up the story and see how this plays out. On that note, until next time, till then, thanks for watching.